Hello, welcome to our review for Unit 3. We're going to start with our first lesson, Lesson 3.02, and we're going to go through some of the questions on your test review. So the first question says to find the slope of the line that passes through the points 3, -8, and 2, -2, 2. So when we're finding the slope of a line, we want to use our slope formula, which is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And then I like to go ahead and label my points. So this is my x1, my y1, my x2, and my y2. And that way I don't make any mistakes when I'm substituting in my values. So after I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and plug in or substitute in each of those values. So y2 is 2 minus my y1, which was -8. I'm going to put it in parentheses just so I don't forget any negatives later. My x2 is -2, and then my x1 is 3. So I've substituted those values in, and now we can simplify. Remember that 2 negatives is going to make a positive, so this is going to turn into a plus. And 2 plus 8 is 10, and then -2 minus 3 is -5. So when I simplify this, I get -2. If you want to keep it as a fraction form, that's fine. -2 over 1 would also be the answer for my slope. So that's my slope for number 1. Number 2, what is the slope of the line given the equation? So this time I'm given the equation. Notice it's already solved for y. That's what we want because it's in slope-intercept form. So it's in slope-intercept form, and just to refresh your memory, that's when we have y equals mx plus b. And my m, just like my m up here from my formula, that's the same m here, that's my slope. So in this equation, my slope is this 1/3 because it's in front of that x. So my m is 1/3. I'm just pulling it out. I don't have to solve for anything. You just find it, identify it, and write it down. Now, sometimes though, you're not given an equation that's already in slope-intercept form. Sometimes you have to solve. So in this example here, I have 8x plus 4y equals 12, and I need to get y by itself before we can do anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and move everything away from the y. I'm going to start by subtracting 8x from both sides. And by the way, this equation that was given to us, that's in standard form. And I'm going to write this with my x first so it's in slope-intercept. Now I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide by that 4, and I'm going to divide every term by 4. And y is going to equal -2x plus 3. So just like before, we identified over here our slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b, that m, that is what we're looking for. So in this equation that I've converted to slope-intercept form, I now have my m. That's going to be my -2. And that's our answer. Okay, so lastly we have what is the x-intercept and y-intercept of the line? 6x plus 5y equals 32.8. So just to refresh our memories, when we are finding the x-intercept, if I have a coordinate plane, give you a visual quick, the x-intercept is where it crosses on the x-axis, okay? And my y value is always 0 when I'm finding my x-intercept. Okay, my y-intercept, that's where I cross on the y-axis, and my x value is always 0 when I'm finding my y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the x-intercept first. So I'm going to plug in 0 for y. And when I do that, that entire term cancels because anything times 0 is 0. So I'm just left with 6x equals 32.8. We divide both sides by 6. And when I do that, I end up with 5.47 after I round. So there is my x. If you want to write it as a coordinate, it would be 5.47 comma 0, depending on how they ask for the answer. And then for my y, I'm going to start with the same equation. So I'm going back to this equation, but this time I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Okay, so that first term is going to cancel. I'm left with 5y equals 32.8, and then we divide both sides by 5. So y is going to equal 6.56. That's my answer. If it asked for a coordinate, your x value was 0, and I found my y-intercept to be 6.56. And that's that for that first lesson.